to leave this one in the robot mode, but you may never know. I may get another one just for the vehicle mode, and that's on the... Yo, what's up guys, it's Primus the Creator here, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be reviewing the Transformers Rise of the Beast Studio Series number 104, Terracon Nightbird. Now before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to turn on post notifications so that you guys miss any uploads that I do, and I really hope you guys do enjoy this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Now this figure was given to me by TF Collector. Thank you so much for providing me with this figure. I am really happy and thankful for you. As much as I am kind of excited to review this figure, I'm kind of not. This figure has to be probably my least favorite out of the 3 Terracons that we've gotten from Studio Series. When this figure was first shown, I was never really hyped around it. I honestly really didn't like it at all. But now since we got this figure, will it change my mind? Will I actually like it? Sit back, relax, and let's review Transformers Rise of the Beast Studio Series number 104, Nightbird. Now taking a closer look at this figure, you can see that the head detail actually looks really good. I do quite like the head detail a lot. Underneath you can see the nice yellow for the eyes, which I do quite like. But yeah, the head sculpt all in all actually looks pretty good. I do quite like it. And just going down on the figure, you can see the beautiful amount of detail that went to the chest area. I do like the little chest area there. And going down, you got some more nice sculpted detail there in the little ab area, and then just going down on the thighs. It looks really good. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I am actually a little impressed with this figure. Not just because, you know, I didn't really like it at first, because honestly I really didn't, but in person it's actually not that bad. Going down, you got some more detail there on the forearms there, and the color scheme that they went for is not bad. You know, you do got some light gray with a mixture of black plastic. Doesn't really bother me. And then when you move to the back, yeah, the backpack is where this figure really doesn't look good at all from any angle that you try. I commend them for at least trying, you know, to fold all the tabs in the back, you know, so that way it doesn't look as bad as it should have been. Definitely not the worst, but definitely not the best. But yeah, you do got her small wings there, and do got some nice pink there for the wings, even there for the tires. But yeah, pin tires, okay. Yeah, the backpack doesn't look all that bad. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but is, yeah, I don't know. And even then, you do got the side skirts, and that's when you start to see, okay, like the car from is kibble. It's basically kibble, not the best, but you know what? It could have been a lot worse. Now, she did come with one really cool accessory, so let's take a look at that now. Taking a look at her one cool accessory here we do have is her sword. And you know what? It actually looks pretty good. I'm glad they painted this part black and then kept this part unpainted plastic. I honestly do like this sword. I'm sad she didn't come with 2. Why didn't she come with 2? Like, it's so freaking... It's fine. Here is the comparison between the mainline and her sword, and yeah, her sword is 100 times better. I'm just sad that she didn't come with 2. Like, what the frick? To put on her sword, all you're basically gonna do is, of course, the sword has a oh, that's the wrong one. The sword is gonna have a peg right there, and her hand is already gonna have an open hand right there, and all you're simply gonna do is just plug it in like so, and then there you go. Now you have her holding her one only cool looking sword. Why didn't she come with 2? What the frick? I really wish she came with 2 swords, man. You don't know how much this figure would have looked better with 2 swords. You can't put the mainline sword on her, and even though you can do that, it's still not like her all black sword that I really wish she did come with, but it's okay. Nonetheless, still looks really good in my opinion, not gonna lie. Now take a look at some size comparisons. Here we do have the Studio Series Nightbird compared to Studio Series number 100 Bumblebee, so that way you can see how they both do look there. And honestly, I do quite like the scaling here. I do wish that Nightbird, which is a tad bit more taller. I know she's a little bit taller than Bumblebee right now. Again, not the best, but you know what? I do like them both just enough to where I think Studio Series did do a good job between the both of them. For my next size comparison here, we do have Nightbird next to her Terracon mates, Battletrap and Scourge. As you can see, I think the scaling here does work really well. I am happy that Studio Series was able to make this work. Again, I do think that the best one out of these 3 has to be Battletrap. Battletrap honestly looks just the best to me. Yeah, Scourge looks like Scourge, but not really Scourge at all. Nightbird is kind of the weakest link between the 2, but nonetheless, I still think that together, I think they do look amazing. Also, they are going to get their own DNA upgrade kit, so make sure that you get them because I think it's going to make them all look so much better. For my next size comparison here, we do have the Studio Series Nightbird compared to her mainline version. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I do believe that the Studio Series Nightbird looks way better than the mainline, but I do think that the mainline does a little bit of a better job than Studio Series. It's like one of those things between the two that I do wish that they both had. That way it could like be like the best Nightbird we've ever gotten. Nonetheless, I do think that the Studio Series 1 tops the mainline. I just wish that the Studio Series 1 was as tall as the mainline, if not a little bit taller. But that's just my opinion. Also, it's kind of funny how they both have one sword. Now for the articulation, the head is on a ball joint-ish. She can look a little bit side to side, not a whole lot. She can't really do a full 360. It only goes about 90 degrees, I guess. Her arm can move out, bicep swivel, bend at the elbow, and she doesn't have a wrist swivel, sadly. Her waist swivel is limited, not really the best. That's all you're really gonna get, sadly. Her leg can move out about that far, and it can move back roughly about that far. She does have a thigh swivel. She does have a double jointed knee. She does have an ankle pivot, but you know, due to the transformation, it could go a lot more to give her more range. But if it's just regular, it'll go roughly about that far. And her toe can go in and out for more stability, I guess. And just because her small wings can go in and out like so. So there you go. The posability on this figure is actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. In person, I was like, you know what? Let's just check the posability. Maybe it is not the greatest. You know what? It's actually not that bad as I thought it was going to be. I was honestly more shocked that she had a lot more posability than actually seeing her in person. I think that she does have a decent amount of posability, not like a Voyager or Leader class type posability, but good enough to where I do feel satisfied with this figure on that range of posability. But alrighty guys, I think it's time for me to transform her into her beautiful 1995 Nissan Skyline GTR. How do I know that? I totally did not Google that. I really hope that the transformation on this one is not as scary as Mirage's was, so I'm a little nervous, but here we go. Why do I freaking love this dude? Let me just tell you right now that the transformation on this was so much easier than that freaking complicated Porsche, man. I'm not gonna lie, the Porsche does look a lot better, but man, Nissan, dude, I commend you, because freaking Porsche, what were you freaking thinking with that complicated transformation? I have no words right now because I am in love with this Nissan. I don't know what to tell you guys. The detail on this looks freaking... Dude, I love the color scheme. At first, I wasn't a fan of the color scheme when they first showed the car, but man, I don't. This look, and it's on pinned wheels. Porsche doesn't even have that. Right, man, I love this a lot. I do love Nissan Skylines for sure. Man, I am in love with this. I love everything about this. I love the color scheme. I love the beautiful pink for the tires. I love the brown that they went with here. And even then, yeah, everything on this is not like all one color. There are some pieces where it's like color here, and then there's plastic, unpainted plastic, as you can see, like color here and then unpainted plastic. But you know what? It doesn't really bother me as much as I thought it was going to, man. Even the clear, transparent plastic, even though it's a little bit foggy, I do love it. And not even that, the transformation to get here is so much more simplistic than the Porsche. But when I compare both the Porsche and the Skyline, you can see which one is clearly better. I do believe that the Porsche does look a lot better, but again, the Nissan did a better job with the transformation. Now, you can see why people are afraid of this, because again, the transformation to get here was super complicated, but the paint looks absolutely amazing. Here, to get here, it was super easy to transform. Yeah, there's not as much paint detail as this one, but I feel like the transformation to get here was so much better than to get to here. I do think Porsche did a better job with the overall paint apps and stuff and making it look as screen accurate as possible, while I think Nissan, even though it's screen accurate, I think they did do a better job with the transformation, man, because let me just say, no paint chipping whatsoever, prone to paint chipping. Beautiful details just going down the fit. Yeah, I like this, and she does roll very, very, very well thanks to her pinned wheels. So there's that. I do quite like it a lot. I don't know if you guys can see, but you do got a nice Terracon logo there in the middle, which I do quite like. But yeah, I do love this overall. Again, way better than the mainline for sure. Not gonna transform the mainline because honestly, I don't care about the mainline anymore. I do like this a lot more. But alrighty guys, I think it's time for me to give my overall review and my overall grade on this figure. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I did have low expectations for this figure. And you know what? I am shocked. I'm a little bit surprised that I actually like this more than I thought it was going to. Alternate mode looks amazing. Robot mode looks a little bit but I think you guys are going to be kind of surprised by my grade. So here's my overall review and my overall grade on this figure. Alrighty guys, there you go. There you have me review the Transformers Rise of the Beast Studio Series number 104 Terracon Nightbird. Now what do I think overall? I actually like this figure more than I thought I was going to. Is she my favorite out of the 3 Terracons or any of the Rise of the Beast that we got in? No, but you know what? It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think the transformation into the car mode really saves this figure a lot. It's very simple and very easy, and even though it is licensed, I still think it did a much better job than Porsche did. And the robot mode, even though it's not my favorite at all, I still think that it still has, you know, some hidden gems in it, and I think it's not that bad. So for that, I have to give this figure a solid 7 out of 10. Yes, a 7 out of 10 on this figure is not the best, but it's honestly not the worst. But there's just a few that I really don't like about this figure, so let's talk about it. My first con is going to have to be the huge backpack. Thank you so much for trying, you know, to at least not make it look as bad, but it's not my favorite. I do wish that it did a little bit better. Also, the small wings do not do it justice at all. I really wish that it was more accurate, but it's not the worst backpack, but it's honestly not good to look at whatsoever. My second con is going to have to be the big old kibble that is on Nightbird. I don't like the side skirts whatsoever that the car is sticking out. Also, the backpack, I guess it's part of the, you know, vehicle mode. The backpack does not like to tab in whatsoever as well. I really don't like that as well. I just really wish that there was just a few things that the mainline did and the Studio Series did and combined them, and dude, we would have had probably the best Nightbird we've ever had. I do believe that the alternate mode really saves this figure in my opinion, because let me just say that 1995 Nissan Skyline GTR looks freaking awesome. Now, it doesn't look better than the Porsche whatsoever, but I'm just saying that I think Nissan did a better job with the overall transformation and not as much paint chipping. Yeah, there's not as much paint on Nightbird, but I still do think they did do a little bit better than the Porsche. Nonetheless, I still think this figure is great. I don't think it's the worst. Trust me, we've seen a really lot of bad ones. I just don't think that it's my favorite. But do I recommend this? If you guys are trying to complete the whole Terracon set, which involves Scourge, Battle Trap, Novocaine, and Freezer, then yeah, get it. But if you're just like a standalone, I wouldn't say get it. If anything, only get it for the vehicle mode, and honestly, that's it. I've heard people say that this figure is worse than the mainline, and I don't believe that whatsoever. This figure is way better than the mainline. Is it like 100 times better? No, but I do think it's still better than that vehicle mode and just overall the design. I do wish the Studio Series Nightbird was a little bit taller, but that's roughly about it. Sadly, she died a very easy death in my opinion. Wish she would have went out a lot easier, as my boy B kills her in the back really quick. That's how you get it done. Alrighty guys, I think this is gonna do it for me. If you guys are new to the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to turn on post notifications so that you guys miss any uploads that I do. Sad I couldn't really find this figure in stores, but hey, you may never know. I may actually find it, and I actually may pick up another one just for the vehicle mode. I'm gonna leave this one in the robot mode, but hey, you may never know. I may get another one just for the vehicle mode, and that's roughly about it. Other than that, it's been Prime as a creator. Remember to stay calm and keep moving on, so I'll make sure to see you guys on the next one till all or one. Bye!